Hi, my name is Allwin and I am a student of International Business Management Program of Petra Christian University. I am currently in my 7th semester, which means I am on my final year. And soon, I will graduate and start to enter the real business world, which means now is a perfect opportunity for me to reflect on myself, on what I have learned in the past 2 years with Professor Dr. Casey Chen. And explaining so, I will also apply the action learning equation to better explain myself and what my future career is.
This is the action learning equation, which will serve as my framework in explaining. This equation also serves as my first outstanding example during my study in IBM. Action learning equation has helped me in learning by doing. So by using action learning, I can make sure that I will always make a continuous improvement because I will learn what I do and I will do what I learn. And in answering action learning equation, I will start by asking the question of what do I know about myself, why do I need that, who I will be in the future, how will I achieve that, and when will be the execution. And then I will ask where it might go wrong and how much do I need to improve. Now let's start on what do I know about myself. And in answering that, I will use the 3 levels of competence, starting with the individual competence, the team capacity, and organizational capability. The individual competence will answer the Big 5 personality, general entrepreneurial test, and learning style. The team capacity will answer the Bell-Bin's 9 team roles, and organizational capability will answer the leadership test. Now let's start with the first one. In here, we can see that I am a reflector of 18 points and I'm both theorist and pragmatist of 14 points. Now, this implies that in terms of reflectors, I like to think before act, I like thorough planning, I'm an observant person, and I like to evaluate things. What does this imply? I am an introvert and I am not a decision maker. As for the theorist point of view, I like to see the overall picture. I like sequential approach and logical presentation of ideas. As for pragmatist, I like practical example, I am a down-to-earth person and I am a problem solver. This implies that I am an action learner, I am knowledgeable, and I am balanced both in theory and practice. Now for the Big 5 personality test, I want to highlight my extroversion of 15, my agreeableness of 16, and conscientiousness of 28. As for my extroversion, which I have converted into percent, 37.5%, I am a reflector, which is shown by the fact that also I am an introvert. Thus, I work alone in the project. I scored 40% for my agreeableness, so I am a person who likes to tell what it is. I am strong on my self-belief and I am good in negotiating. I score 70% in my conscientiousness, thus I am an honest and hardworking person. And I value integrity above all, and I do things when necessary. This is my GET test. What I want to highlight here is that I have scored considerably above average on calculated risk-taking and drive and determination. I scored 75% in my calculated risk-taking, which means I calculate risk, shown by the fact that I also am a reflector. I judge when data is incomplete, which show that I have also low agreeableness and I like to evaluate the likely benefit and the likely cost. I have 67% of drive and determination. I am a self-confident and also see that result equals effort, so calculating everything before taking action should benefit you by getting also the considerably good result. I have the courage and drive to overcome obstacles. And the other 3 of the aspects of GET test, my need for achievement, need for autonomy, and creative tendency still need improvement if I want to improve my entrepreneurial quality. We are done with the individual, let's go with the team capacity. And to answer that, what I want to highlight here is that I am a completer finisher, I am a monitor evaluator, and I am a shaper person. For the completer, I am a conscientious, shown by the fact that I score 70%. I search out errors in works before submitted. I deliver works on time and I am good with paperwork. The drawbacks here is that I reluctant to delegate, and thus I prefer to work alone, which shown by the fact that I am an extrovert of 37.5%. I'm a shaper. I thrive on pressure and has a drive and determination shown by the fact that I scored 67%. But I have the drawbacks that I can provoke others and hurt other people's feelings, which shown by the fact that I scored 40% in agreeableness. I'm a monitor and evaluator. I like to judge things accurately because it is shown the fact that I scored 75% in my calculated risk taking. But I have the drawbacks that I lack the drive and ability to motivate others, which shown by the fact that I scored 50% for the need for autonomy. Now that I'm done with team capacity, let's move on to the last one, which is the organizational capability. What I want to highlight here is that my three most standout point is I am a facilitating ethical conduct person, I am a negotiator, and I am a change leader. I am facilitating ethical conduct. I act based on my integrity, shown by the fact that I scored 70% in my conscientiousness to support the team and organization. I am a negotiator. I nurture productive working relationships within and outside the organization, and I avoid and prevent tension or lasting resentment. I am a change leader. I seek out new opportunities and solutions by looking for better ways in doing my job. And I always seek a continuous improvement, shown by the fact that I am a reflector. And so for the other aspects such as setting direction up until building relationships are still needed to be improved. Now, after answering the three levels of competence, I can know my four key attributes. From 112 attributes, I have applied the 80-20 rules up until the 60-40 rules, and I've come up with four key attributes that can define me most. The first one is the analytical. The second one is thorough. Both of them can be shown by the fact that I am a reflector who likes to calculate, to evaluate, and observe problems. The second one is the conscientiousness, which is one of my big five personality. And last but not least is knowledgeable, which is shown by the fact that my second highest learning style is theorist. Now, based on these five letters, I am still in the second stage, which is the contributing team member, and I still need to evaluate myself and improve myself to become the fifth step, master coach or change agent. Now that we have done with the what part, let's start to ask 5 times why. First, why do I need to understand my characters? It is to know how I fare with which job I might proceed to and to understand further my learning style. Why do I need to understand my learning style? To know how I will manage, enhance, and compose myself, and to also know my team role. Why do I need to know and understand my role in the team? To know how I would contribute and be effective in a team and which leadership style will suit me best. Why do I need to understand my leadership style? To know how I would lead the team and organization later on, and to know whether I am suitable to become an entrepreneur. Why do I need to understand my entrepreneurial skill? To know how I should improve myself to become successful in my career. Next is to ask who, how, and when, and I will answer these three using the IPO diagram. We'll start with the output of who I want to be and go to the input of what I am right now, which will integrate into the process of answering when will the execution be, and then implement to become the output. And then I will monitor the output using the 3 key performance indicator and then optimize the result to become an improved version of the inputs. Let's start with the output of who. So from the 4 key attributes, I can know that the job that suits me the best is business analyst. According to International Institute of Business Analysts, business analyst is a person who works across all levels of an organization and may be involved in defining strategy and create enterprise architecture, and then to take leadership role, and then defining the goals and requirement for programs and projects, or supporting continuous improvement in its technology and process. And so the input is what I am right now, which I have already explained before using the 3 levels of competence. And then move on to the process of when to execute, and I will use a timeline of 1 to 10 years. So in 1 year, I will have an internship experience as a business analyst in a company in Surabaya. And then I will graduate from Petra Christian University and earn my first degree. And then in 3 years, I will have as much work experience as a business analyst in one of the MNEs in Jakarta. And I will apply for Master in Science in Business Analytics in Imperial College London in UK. And in 5 years, I will become the Business Analyst Manager for MNEs based in Jakarta and have a startup business consultant based in Jakarta also. And then in 10 years, I will become the Chief in Business Analyst for one of the MNEs in Jakarta and grow and improve the business consultant agency continuously. As for the KPIs, I will have 3. The first one is the salary, the job acceptance, and numbers of successful customers for my startup business. And so I have answered the IPO diagram, thus I have answered the how, who, and when. Now let's move on to the where it might go wrong. This is a self-development diagram. First we have the insight, and then I will have the motivation, and then I will start to have new knowledge and skill, and then I will apply it in the real world, and lastly I will have the accountability. Now, the part here that might go wrong is the last 2 parts. The first is the real world application, because sometimes what is learned in theory might not go well in practice. And then accountability. Being accountable business consultant by applying the most relevant theory is a challenge for me. And then we have answered then where it might go wrong. The last one will be how much should I improve. I will use the GOT diagram to answer this. First is the goal. My goal is to become a successful business analyst who are able to apply the most relevant theory by using the holistic thinking. The objective is to increase business analytical skills by having experience in working as business analyst and acquiring more knowledge in master degree program. My target is to have sufficient and supporting salary as a business analyst and is able to balance between working and studying lifestyle. And the second one is to answer it using the 6 thinking hats and 6 types of power, which also serve as my second outstanding example. Because using the 6 thinking hats, it allows me to place myself in various points of view. So I will have myself able to look a problem in different perspectives, so I can answer the problem wholly. The first hat is the red hat. It is to rejuvenate my emotional quality in terms of thinking capacity so I can learn and relearn. The second one is the yellow hat. It is to redesign and increase communicative powers by expanding my network. The next one is the white hat. It is to reinvent and increase my expert power so I can have better analytical skill in presenting information. The green hat is to rethink and increase my adaptive power so I can think of other solutions of my problem. The black hat is to redefine and increase my response power so I can understand the drawbacks of my solution and become one of my consideration. And the last one is the blue hat. It is to re-engineer my way of thinking and increase my execution power and able to see the bigger picture, thus able to have better execution capability. And so, by answering the action learning equation, I have applied the holistic thinking of addressing the what is the problem, why it happened, and how the solution is.
And to conclude this, I have explained my knowledge, my passion, and as well as my experience, which I have already integrated them all together to become my future career plan and how I will achieve it. And also in this opportunity, I would like to show my gratitude to Professor Dr. Casey Chan for his teachings and guidance for me for the whole past 2 years so that we can think holistically. And to finally end this, I would like to close with an axiom. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Planning is bringing the future to the present so that we can do something about it now. My name is Allwin. Thank you.